Good morning, students. Welcome back to online class. I am Mrs. Kala. I am going to teach physical science for you. Today we are going to discuss second lesson, force and pressure. Every day we can observe objects around us. For example, when you are coming to school, you can notice that some of the objects are moving and some of the objects are at rest. What pushes or pulls them? Or what brings the moving bodies to rest? Or what is the effect of these pulls or pushes? All these above questions can be answered. We can use only one word, which is force. And one question comes to our mind. What is force? So force is nothing but it is an action of push or pull which makes the bodies to move or brings the moving body to rest. Not only the object comes for the rest or in the motion, it can changes the shape and size of the certain bodies. So what is force? The force is an action of push or pull. Now look at the diagram also. What is given here? This is the game of tug of war. Everybody knows, isn't it? So observe the movement of the students in the tug of war with the help of the rope. So who are the winners here? The group of students who is pulling the rope with a greater force will definitely will, isn't it? The winners are applying a greater amount of force, hence the rope moves in the direction of the greater force. Who is applying the greater force? That group of students only will come for the winning. Isn't it? This is only the word, the concept of the force. How much amount of the force is applied here. So based on this, the diagram and also in the force, we could able to move on to the definition of the force. So force is that which changes or tends to change the state of rest or the state of uniform motion of your body or the direction of a moving body or the shape of your body. So when force is applied on an object, maybe it comes to rest or it comes to motion or it's changing the direction or it changes the shape of the body. So using these definitions, we could able to come for the conclusion force is taken as a vector quantity. Already studied in the 7th standard, the physical quantities are classified into two types. One is vector quantity and another one is the scalar quantity. So what is vector quantity? The quantities have magnitude and direction. This is called as vector quantity, isn't it? For example, consider as a ball. So the ball is kicking. Afterwards what happens? The ball is moves a particular speed and also the particular direction, isn't it? This is only is taken as what? The vector quantity. And the vector quantities have both magnitude. So what is the meaning of magnitude? It gives us a value or in the numbers only. This is only the magnitude and also the direction. So the force is taken as how much amount of the force is applied. It gives us a magnitude and which direction the object will move. This is only is describe the direction. So the force is taken as a vector quantity. The unit of force is Newton. The name of the scientist, it is denoted by the simple capital N. So based on the definitions only, it could able to changes the state of rest or state of the motion, or changing the direction, or it changing the shape of the body. This is the causes of the force. So the force is taken as a vector quantity, and what is the unit of force? The unit of force is Newton. So the force is applied on the object, and afterwards only some of the factors will happen. So you have studied the effect of force so far. Let us consider, now we are going to study the factors on which the effect of a force actually depends. Let us consider as a one small activity. What is this? This is a balloon, isn't it? That is a balloon is given here, and let us consider, if you prick the balloon with a single pin, what will happen? It will burst, isn't it? Why? And now let us move on to the second activity also. Let us consider a matrix of sharp pins on the wooden board. See here, the colored pins are given, isn't it? That is taken as a word. The sharp pins are on the wooden board. Let us consider. And also we have to taken as a big balloon. So color is given yellow color, isn't it? Next, place it gently over the pins. Place a small book on the top of the balloon. Will the balloon burst? Will the pins break the balloon? What's your answer? The balloon will not burst. How is this possible? Because the first activity we look at that in the first balloon we have taken as water. If you are brick a single pin, it bursts, isn't it? But here we are not using as a single pin. We are using a sharp pins. That is it's not given as a number 1 or 2 like that, isn't it? It's a many number of the pins are on the wooden board, and afterwards only we are placing the balloon. So what happens here? Here the single pin produces a larger pressure over a smaller area. That's why the balloon will burst. But in this place what happens here? When a large number of pins break a body, so it occupies what? A larger area, isn't it? So each pin exerts very little pressure on the balloon, as the applied force gets distributed over the larger surface of the body. So the balloon will not burst. So it comes for the conclusion, the effect of a force depends on the magnitude of the force and to the area over which it's acted. It's depending upon the area also. So where the force is applied and how much the amount of the force is applied on the object, and also what is the effect. That is only we discussed what are the factors on which a force depends. So the force depends upon the magnitude of the force. Magnitude is nothing but how much amount of the force is applied on the object. And second one, it depends upon area over which it acts. So what are the factors on which a force depends? Magnitude of the force, and second it depends area over which it acts. I hope students you understand what and all we discussed in this video. So what we discussed in the first we discussed what is force, what is the definition of force, and next we discussed what are the factors on which the force depends. Thank you children.